everyone, and welcome to the More Knits podcast. This is episode 10. My name is Abby. Thank you for joining me today. This episode's going to be a little bit shorter, but I really have been missing talking with you guys and sharing what I've been working on. Lately, I have not been working on much, but the past couple of weeks, I've definitely kind of kicked it into gear and have really been working on lots of exciting, fun things. So I really just want to get right into it, and I'm going to start with finished objects, as always. And the first thing I have to show is my Miriam cardigan. I had been working on this for quite a while. I think I started it before the summer, and I really love it. So I'm going to stand up and kind of show you. So it is an open, kind of cropped-ish cardigan, and it is almost all stockinette with a little bit of garter stitch on the bottom hem, and then the collar and the front. It's not a button band, but the front kind of panels here are all garter stitch, and then there's also some garter stitch on the sleeves here. Otherwise, it's all stockinette. Raglan sleeve increases. Yeah, I feel like it fits me really well. It's very kind of tailored, and I really like that. I'm gonna sit back down here. And it's super cozy. It's really warm, but it's also pretty light, which I really like because the last cardigan I knit was the Exeter cardigan by Michelle Long, which is a beautiful cardigan. I love it. And I knit it out of Wool of the Andes by Knit Picks, which is a pretty heavy yarn, and it's just such a heavy cardigan. So it's super, super warm, and that kind of means I only get to wear it a few months out of the year unless I just don't want to be sweating a lot, and I don't want to sweat in my hand knits. Anyway, I'm really happy that I finished this. I really just powered through. It was a lot of stockinette, which, it was nice. I remember talking about in my last vlog that I really, that the flat stockinette was pretty therapeutic to me at the time, and it definitely was. And then after a while, it kind of just got monotonous, and I was just really ready to be done with it. So I'm really happy that I powered through and I finished it. I can wear it now, almost. It's not quite chilly enough to wear it yet, because it is 100% wool. But it is cooling down, so I will be able to wear it really soon. So the yarn that I used is Cascade Yarns Cascade 220 Sport. So it's a really affordable yarn. It's actually a really nice yarn. I would definitely use this yarn again. I would knit another garment in this yarn, which actually I kind of potentially can, because I ended up having 3 full skeins left over and almost an entire skein. So I have almost 4 skeins left over of this yarn. And I must have used probably about 4 skeins, maybe 5 skeins to knit this cardigan. I don't know why I have so much left over, because I got gauge. I didn't order more yarn. I maybe ordered, a couple hundred extra yards just to play it safe. So then I was kind of expecting to just have like 1 skein left over. Anyway, I have so much yarn left over that I could probably knit another garment, or at least like a big shawl or something. But I don't know if I want like another, I don't know. It's a neutral color, right? I think I'm just done with it for a while. There's been a lot of gray in my life lately, which is not a bad thing, but also, I'm excited to wear it, and I'm excited to knit with some more colors. So again, it fits super well. It was a great pattern. The construction was really interesting. It was really fun as well. Like, it was just such an interesting knit, despite the multitude of stockinette. The one thing that I'm realizing is kind of an issue is the way that the collar sits. As you can tell, it doesn't quite sit on my neck. And I think that just has to do with me being a little bit small framed, and you know, if my shoulders were a little bit broader, I think that this would sit a little bit, you know, kind of hug my neck a little bit more. But with the way that the, you know, where the sleeves fit me, it's just, it kind of hooks out a little bit. And I have reblocked it. I left it to dry and realized this was a problem, so I reblocked it so that I would try to, you know, kind of block that out. And it's still kind of doing that. When I'm wearing my hair down, it's not as noticeable. Obviously, with my hair up, it's going to be very noticeable. But it's also, like, it's not the worst thing. Like, I don't think it necessarily looks that bad. It just doesn't look as well fitted as the rest of the cardigan does. And because it is so kind of tailored and structured, that, you know, it does just kind of stick up on its own rather than just completely falling. But I love the way that the collar looks, and I love this front band. I think it just looks really nice. So maybe I'll give it another block and see if I can kind of shape it more towards my neck and my shoulders, and see if I can get it to lay a little bit flatter. But for now, I really like it, and honestly, I would knit this again. I don't know if I want another cardigan like this, but in terms of knitting it, if I wanted another simple knit, I would totally knit this again. This was a really fun knit. You know, it didn't cost me that much in yarn, considering I only used about half of what I actually bought. So if I were to knit it again, I would keep that in mind, and it would be a lot less of an expensive cardigan. Yeah, and all of the, you know, all of the information will be down below in the description box. I'll also share show notes on my Ravelry, as I always do. I did forget to mention, though, I'm very out of practice. This is the Miriam cardigan by Carrie Bostick Hoge. That's the pattern. Who I've never knit anything from her before, and I really, yeah, she's a really great designer. Everything was very clear. There were no mistakes. Yeah, it's a great cardigan. And then I have another finished object, because that's what happens when you don't film for a long time. And I had been working on these again for a very long time, and I'm so happy that they are finished. This is my own sock design. I have not come up with a name yet, and this is actually the second sample that I've knit, which is kind of why this pattern has taken me a while to just to kind of get it going. And I'm almost finished writing the pattern, but I still have a little bit of work left to do. I still have to take the photos. But anyway, this is the pattern. And yeah, it's a really, you know, it's a pretty simple pattern. And I do have two that I finished. So yeah, hopefully next time you hear from me, these will be released, or at least like in testing, and almost on their way to being released. So haven't come up with a name again for those, but I'm really excited about them. I'm really excited to wear them, honestly. I'm so excited to wear my hand knit socks, because over the summer I knit myself quite a few pairs and I haven't been able to wear them yet, so that'll be really fun. I also wanted to mention, I've shown this on the podcast before, but one of my shawl designs is currently being tested. It actually the test ends this week, and this actually doesn't have a name either, but I've been calling it the Plymouth shawl after the yarn, because I used Plymouth yarns. But this is a big, cozy, worsted weight shawl. It's very simple. It has very simple texture, and then it ends with this lacy border and a bit of garter stitch. So it's a very simple shawl. It's so cozy. It was such a fun knit. It actually knit up really quickly. Anyway, this is not out yet either. Sorry to keep showing knits that you can't knit, but it will be soon because we are finishing up testing. So yeah, it's really exciting. I think it looks great with my cardigan. And even though it's only like 70 degrees outside Fahrenheit, I'm gonna keep this on because I'm so excited to wear handmade things. Don't I just look so cozy right now? I love knitting. Another exciting thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning is that I released a pattern since we last talked. I released the Ode to Spring shawl. And it was the first pattern that I had released in about 8 months. So it was a long time coming, and I am unbelievably excited that that is out in the world now. You can purchase it via Ravelry, and I'm just so excited to have it done. I don't have it with me, so I will pop up a few photos so that you can see. I took those photos within like 20 minutes. It was a really quick photo shoot. I took them myself, which I usually do, and I took them in some of my favorite woods, and it was a really fun adventure. But I'm so excited that it's ready and out now, and I just want to say thank you to everyone who has purchased the pattern and has knit the shawl. It's just really exciting for me because, you know, this is like an idea that I had, and you know, not only did I make the thing that I had an idea about, but I also put together an entire document that tells other people how to knit it, and people are following along and actually knitting it. So that's so exciting to me, and it just reminds me how much I love the design process. I love it from, you know, my first idea all the way to putting it out into the world and other people knitting the things that I create and come up with. It's just so exciting to me, and it's one of those things that, you know, I don't think I get that excited about almost anything else in my life. So it's just a reminder to me that I want to continue doing this for as long as I can, and I want to do it as much as I can, and I'm just so excited. Okay, so I'm going to move on to whips, and I don't have that many. In fact, I have only one. So again, I have not been knitting very much lately. I will talk a little bit about my life. I'm going to give a little bit of an update at the end of the episode if you're interested. But just know that it has been, my life has not been in a situation, rather I have not been in a situation where I can knit a lot lately. And so as much as I would love to knit constantly, I just have not been able to. So I am currently knitting the Exploration Station shawl by Stephen West. Believe it or not, this is my first Stephen West pattern, which is a little bit crazy. I've purchased plenty of his patterns. I love his designs. I don't know, I've just never knit one of his patterns before, so I'm so happy to be knitting this. Let me turn it right side up so that you can actually see it. So here's what I have so far. I've made it through the garter stitch wedges, so the short rows in garter stitch, and I'm about halfway through the brioche. So here's a bit of a close-up, and don't you just love, like, just this design is beautiful. I just love it so much. It was so much fun to knit. I'm about halfway through the shawl, right? And I don't want to be done with it. Like, I'm going to maybe cast on another one as soon as I get more yarn because it's just such an enjoyable knit. I love the way that the eyelets work up, and the short rows are so easy because the eyelets are like incorporated into the short rows. So it's kind of not even short rows. I mean, you just turn, you're not really, you know, there's nothing to pick up, there's nothing to pay attention to, really. It's just so easy. I love the colors that I'm using. Oh my god, I did not know that I was a pink person because I'm usually not. I don't usually gravitate towards pinks. But I just kind of realized, like, I never wear pink, and I don't know, I like it. So purple's my favorite color. I do wear a lot of purple. But I just love the way that the neutrals work up with the colors, and I'm just like so excited about this. I'm so excited. Anyway, Yeah, I love it so much. And I'm so excited to, like, I'm gonna get this done so quickly and I'm gonna be able to almost immediately wear it. It's a fingering weight shawl, so it's not extremely warm. It's kind of the perfect accessory that will keep me, you know, comfortable in the fall and maybe even the winter if I'm wearing a big coat. So, yeah, and I love brioche so much, and I have not knit brioche in a long time. I don't think I've knit brioche since my Hoge spring shawl, I think. Was the last time? Was that the last time? That is forever ago. I haven't knit brioche in a long time, and like just the rhythm of it, I just love it so much. I love it so much, and it's so squishy, and oh, I love it. This is making me really, really excited about fall and about knitting, and it just makes me want to like knit constantly and never stop. So I'm using size 6 needles, which is what the pattern calls for. I did not gauge swatch because it's a shawl, and you know, I like the way that the fabric is knitting up. It's very loose. It's knitting up super quickly. If I like it, I mean, it's not a garment. It doesn't need to like fit exactly, right? It just needs to be a size that I like it, and a gauge that I like it at. So, and it is both of those things. Oh, and the I-cord edge. Oh my word. It's so stretchy and beautiful, and it's so easy, and it just like, this has just knit up so quickly. So I'm knitting on size 6 needles, which is what the pattern calls for. I actually went down to a 5 to knit the brioche, just because as I was knitting, I was like, it's a little too loose for me, and I'm happy I did because brioche is so squishy and stretchy, and, you know, brioche is brioche, and I wanted it to kind of match the garter stitch. Oh, I love it so much. So the yarn that I'm using is, I'm actually using the majority of my yarns are drops yarns, so it's very affordable. The dark yarn this is color A, and this is Drops Nord, which is, I think, like an alpaca and wool, alpaca wool and polyamide, so it's a really, it's really soft, nice yarn, honestly. I mean, it's not like the nicest yarn, but, and then for the other two, or for two of the other colors, this is color C, and this is color D, if you are interested in putting together your own shawl. The sun is coming out right now, so whoop. Okay. I can do this. Everything is fine. Color C and color D, these are both Drops Flora. And the exact colorways are going to be on my Ravelry page in a project, so you can find it if you're interested. And then for color B, the purple, I am using Valley Yarns Huntington, which I've talked about before, and you can kind of see that. This is from Webs. It's a really affordable sock yarn. It's really soft. I think it's a wool. Yep, it's a it's superwash merino wool and nylon mix, and I really like it. It's actually what I knit these socks out of, and yeah, it's soft and it's sturdy, and it's affordable, so it's really nice. But yeah, that's my shawl. I say I'm getting back into shawl knitting, but really I've been into shawl knitting for a long time. And sock knitting and garment knitting. Like, I just love all the knitting. Give me something to knit and I will knit it. I just love it. So that's all that I have to show you in terms of knitting. I also wanted to share, I recently bought these Knitter's Pride knit blockers. And these have been out for such a long time. Like a couple years, but so I'm sure that you all know what they are, and you've probably all purchased your own, but these are what they look like. They also come in, so they come in that full size, and then, come on, and then they make these little smaller guys. And these are just blocking pins that, well, they're knit blockers, but it makes it so that when you're blocking out your knits, you don't have to use a million pins, because it's it's like 5 or so pins all together, and it also helps getting a straight edge. For example, when I blocked this shawl, I really wanted this straight edging on the bottom, and so that made it really easy for me to block it out, and also really quick. And I bought those blockers for about $20, and they're a little bit expensive. People were telling me that I should get 2 sets, which I would like to get 2 sets, but they're just a little bit, they're an investment, totally worth it, but I wasn't able to get 2 sets outright. But eventually I will definitely own 2 sets, because I think that's necessary. I was actually able to block this shawl, this like pretty big worsted weight shawl, out with just 1 set. I used all of the pins, but I only had 1 set. So, buy one, see what you think, block a few things, see if you do actually need a second set. But I would totally recommend those if you're like me and you haven't gone out and purchased them yet. Definitely do, because they are a lifesaver. So I'm going to end the episode, but I just wanted to give a quick life update in case you are interested. Let's see, the summer has ended. My summer ended with a wisdom tooth surgery, and it was also a very slow recovery. I ended up getting dry socket, which is one of the worst things that you can experience in the world. It was not fun, and it took me about a month to recover. During that time, I had to take some time off of work, and I was also, buying all my textbooks and preparing for the semester to start, and everything was just crazy. I got a sinus infection, and then I got sick right afterwards, and you can kind of still hear it in my voice. I've been sick for about a week now. School started. It has just been overwhelming with the amount of homework that I've had, but I'm really trying to keep a level head and make sure that, I'm taking care of myself, that, mental health is really important, physical health is really important, and those are 2 things that I've definitely neglected for a while. And one of the things that helps my mental health is knitting, and sharing what I'm knitting and working on. So I'm really trying to take it a little bit easier, make sure that I'm getting enough sleep and that I'm getting enough introvert time, and I'm getting a lot of knitting time in. That's been really helping a lot. I turned 21, which is only important if you live in the US. So that was fun, and it's a big milestone. I think that's kind of really what's been going on in my life lately. It's just been a lot, and I have not had much knitting time again, but I am really trying to change that and take life a little bit slower. So I hope that you all are having a great September. It's already over a week into September. It's crazy. And that the weather is cooling down where you live, or getting warmer, depending on where in the world that you live. But anyway, let me know what you're knitting right now. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Ravelry. Pretty soon you can subscribe to my mailing list. I'm getting that set up. I also have a new website. It's just abbymorland.com. I will link all of those things below. It's really simple, but during my time off, I worked on that, and I've been working a lot behind the scenes on my business, and it's been so much fun and so exciting to me. So I'm really happy to be talking with you all again, and I hope that you have a great rest of your week.